Today we'll be making our own scratch boards. Here's an example of what a scratch board is. It's basically a piece of wood or masonite or whatever substrate that's been covered in a gesso, then it's covered in India ink. Here is some Speedball super black India ink. And so right here you can see I etched an otter, scratched an otter chasing after a fish. Did this a few months ago. The issue is that they're very expensive to buy the blank scratch boards. Currently, Ampersand is only one of 2 companies I know of that makes them, and the other company is hard to find their scratch boards, and I've heard they're of inferior quality. The paper scratch boards, the scratch art ones, are quite readily available, but they're not very good. They don't scratch well, and they go through quite quickly because the layer of gesso is not that thick. And these are the Ampersand scratch boards, and they use a kaolin based gesso. The gesso we'll be using today is going to be a gypsum based gesso. It's a little softer than kaolin, but it will work. The first thing you'll need is some plaster of Paris. In my case, I got DAP plaster of Paris. You want to get the dry mix stuff, don't get the already wet stuff or joining compound or anything like that. Just get regular old plaster of Paris. You can also use talc, but I can't guarantee results with talcum powder. And you will also need some PVA glue. Traditionally, rabbit skin glue is used, but this is quite cheap, readily available, and there are no animal products in PVA glue, or at least in Elmer's PVA glue. And finally, you'll need some white acrylic paint, and you'll also need some India ink. In my case, I've got a whole lot of damage right here. The ratio is 2 parts plaster of Paris to 2 parts PVA to 1 part paint. Okay, now we have our gesso. And ideally, I would want to use a whiter brush. Let's start by just smearing it on our piece right here. You can see it's got quite a lot of brush strokes on it. It shouldn't. Just be very light. Do cross-hatchy stuff right here. And this gesso will take a while to dry, so be patient. As I said before, I should have been using a broader brush, so apply it to our other piece. Apply it with your cheap fan. Get a nice even coat on there. where it pays to have long nails. Just keep this little bugger on here. And we'll let that dry. This one is completely dry. This one is almost dry. So at the moment we're going to put it aside. So you want to make sure that the glass you set it down on is flat. And this is some 500 grit sandpaper. Lay it down flat on here. So the next step is to get a little bit of ink. Actually, this is a new bottle, so I should check to see if there's there's a little peel and seal. This stuff is messy, so make sure not to spill any. Luckily, they provided us with a little spout. We're just gonna dribble some into this bowl right here. Just coat your brush in some ink and just lay it on. Try to get it on as evenly as you can. Okay, and you're going to want to immediately, clean that brush if you're not going to use it. I'm going to wait for this to dry. In the meantime, you can sand this piece. Yeah, it's dry.